Hello again, everybody. Schoon811 back. A little bit different this time. I'm going to show off my comic book room and then show not really a comic book haul. It's some comics I picked up during the October. I just wanted to show off a little bit. But here's the room. So, we got my comic book spinner rack. Sadly, not an original like from a store or anything. Something I got off like Amazon. But shiny. I like it. The whole thing's got basically books I've got off spinner racks growing up. So, it's fun. I got my trade paperback collection. I try to keep that all on one bookshelf. If I ever get more than that, I try to thin the herd out and get rid of a few books, because, let's be honest, how many of these am I really going to read again? We got DC Comics section over here. I always try to put a couple framed comics up. I switch these out like once a month. We got Demon #1. Jack Kirby. Got that for like $5 at a comic show once. Very fine shape. Probably shot another video. And then a Superman. Heck, I don't even know what issue this is. One of those 100-page giants. I got pretty cheap at a show once. I'm a sucker for the 100-pagers. Looks cool. I got an Astro City poster signed by Kurt Busiek. Just a couple knickknacks. Crisis Infinity Earths poster by Alex Ross and George Perez. Then we got the comics themselves. I like that I talked about how many comics I really need to read off the bookshelf, but then, you know, I'm perfectly comfortable having 23 long boxes and 2 short boxes. That seems reasonable to me, because I'll read all these. Yeesh. Anyway, got a little wall, a couple knickknacks. These toys I've just kind of accumulated. I haven't really gone out to find them. I've gotten them in like loot crates that my wife has gotten me very nicely. My Marvel section across from the DC. Always switch these books out too. I'm sure I'll go over these books in another video, but first appearance of Ghost Rider, Amazing Spider-Man, King Size Annual #2. It's an old coat rack that apparently was built by my great-grandfather that I now use as the platform to host my comic book videos. A couple more books over here in a corner framed, pretty dark. Let's keep another one there. My excellent Super Grover poster. Really nice Captain America light switch. It's too dark over here. I'll get to the haul video here in a second. But yeah, this is my room. Got an old recliner here that I like to sit and read some books when I get time, and love this room. That's great. Okay, let's look at some books, shall we? That's centered. Excuse me while I get this taken care of. We'll say that's good enough. Okay. Nothing real key here. Just some fun books I picked up during the fall. Adventure Comics 462. Death of Batman. Batman of Earth 2. My local comic shop had a whole bunch of these adventure comics in the cheap bins for like $2, and they're a lot of fun. If you ever pick these things up, they're from the Dollar Comic line back in the day. There's always like 4 or 5 features in there. It's a good line of books, but Death of Batman, that's just pretty cool. Let's see, I hit Crow, man. Oh well. Adventure Comics 463. Adventure Comics 459. Just a lot of good stuff in these. I haven't read a whole lot of DC Bronze Age stuff, so this is a good series. Adventure Comics 477. The Aquaman features in here are really good. It's Jim Aparo art. Just recommend it. Highly recommend it. Then another series I recommend is Strange Adventures from Vertigo Comics. This is one of the reasons I just love collecting comics. The series came out in 1999 and 2000, and they're all short stories from a lot of cool artists and writers. Brian Boland's in this one, Dave Gibbons, Frank Quitely. And I never heard about this series. I don't remember this being written up anywhere. I just found it in a quarter bin one day. So we got Strange Adventures 1, Strange Adventures number 2, Strange Adventures number 3, and Strange Adventures number 4. I mean, look at that. It's a sea monster going after a couple on surfboards. That's awesome. All right. What else we got here? Again, these are books I picked up in the fall. Nothing really particular about them. They're not really connected. DC Comics The Losers Special from 1985. This is great because it pretty much is like the love letter to all the old war books that DC used to put out. This is guest starring Sergeant Rock and the Haunted Tank. But a lot of characters die in this. This is right before the Crisis where they rebooted everything. So it's a cool little book. If you're not as familiar with those characters or vaguely familiar and just wanted to see how they wrap it all up, this is a good special. Justice League of America 115. Again, these 100-page comics are great if you can find them in good shape. A lot of good stuff reprinted. I always try to pick these up if I find them cheap. I mean, these can get a lot of money, and I'm not willing to spend that, but they're cool books. Look forward to letting my son check these out when he wants to learn more about Justice League sometime. All right. Got a couple random Silver Age books. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 110. You love these old covers, right? These are great. How can Jimmy cut Superman's indestructible hair of steel? That's a story. That's a thing. Some kid grabbed that off the newsstand back in the day. Too funny. We've got Action Comics 316. Again, these covers are so good. Supergirl having to decide between killing Clark Kent Superman or killing her own father. Supergirl's choice of doom. It's good stuff. I so wish these were still on the newsstands now. And one more DC comic, Silver Age. Superman 194. Featuring the greatest imaginary story of them all, the death of Lois Lane. Just great. Just good stuff. I got these all cheap at a comic show. None of these are in pristine condition. They're not keys at all. I think I paid like $4 a piece. But they're just fun. They're just fun stuff to have in your collection. These last two, speaking of fun stuff to have in your collection, I did not have any Golden Age books, despite having been collecting for a long time now. Because I just never wanted to spend the money. But I found these two at a show for $6 a piece. And they're not key comics or anything, but oh my gosh. Headline Comics number 18 from 1946. Featuring the Atomic Man. That's awesome. I mean, the book's complete, the staples are tight, it's a little brittle, but it's a comic book from 1946. Somebody pulled this off the newsstand, and it's lived in houses and comic shops and things, and it survived all the way up. It's in my house, in my collection. That's awesome. I'm so happy to have this, and I actually got a second one. Headline Comics number 22. Again, nothing key about these. I don't even know who the creative teams are. I've tried to find it a few times, and there's not a whole lot online. I'll probably just find an Overstreet guide. I'm sure it's in there, but those are just amazing. Oldest comics I own by far, and we're just really happy to have them in my collection. I look forward to trying to find some more Golden Age books that won't break the bank, but just fun. Just good stuff. Okay, that's it for this time, guys. I will be back soon with another video, and hope you guys enjoy.